Good day to you. Coming at you with some words of encouragement. It's such a beautiful day that I decided to do this outside, so hopefully we don't get too much noise. I know you can hear the birds and stuff flying in the background, but staying in the vein, we've been talking about forgiveness, and forgiveness is brother, reconciliation. Just a quick recap on forgiveness. Forgiveness is for your benefit. It is freeing to you. It unlocks not just right relationship with God the Father. It unlocks right relationship with your brother who you can see as well. And I forgive people not because they deserve it, but it's out of who I am. And that's that connection that comes from heaven. I may have a kingdom mindset, so I want to live on earth as it is in heaven. And so that's the vein that I come from with my forgiveness. Reconciliation is a little bit different monster because, let me say this. The first step to forgiveness is making a conscious choice of, I need to forgive this person. I want to forgive this person because who wants to be locked into bondage? When you forgive, you get free yourself, and then also you paint a target over the person for God to now infiltrate that person's life. And I'm all about my fellow man being the best that they could be. Reconciliation is a little bit different monster. The question is how do you try to reconcile with someone who is not healthy? So I want to tell you this other part of my testimony. Many years ago, I found out that one of my daughters had been raped and molested by her mother's boyfriend. And this was going on for quite some time. And I remember when I found out about it, I was obviously enraged and filled with anger and had no grit on how to handle it. So in my mind, I'm like, well, I have to kill these people. So I went down, I got I had an SKS, and I started cleaning my rifle, and I was ready to go in these people's lives. And I remember my wife at the time, as I'm sitting on the tub and I'm cleaning out my rifle, I remember her walking in, and she says, "Richard, this family doesn't work without you, and I love you," and turns around and walks away. And in that moment, simultaneously, the Holy Spirit spoke to me and was like, "You have to forgive this man." And I literally was like, "No, this is an ultimate violation. Ultimate violation. I couldn't protect my daughter. I didn't know what was going on. These people had violated in the worst way, and in my mind, they had to be put to an end." And so how do you reconcile with someone who is not healthy? Well, you don't. You forgive them, and I made that choice to forgive them, to forgive him and her. And I remember it ended up going to trial. He was convicted of what he had did to my daughter. He was also convicted of murder. But I remember speaking at the trial in his sentencing, and I said, I told the judge, I said, this is what true justice would be, Your Honor. True justice would not be locking this man up for, a gazillion years. But true justice would be this man using this experience to deter other men and young men from walking down the same path that he did. So that way, this stuff is stopped in our community. That would be true justice. And I got to speak that, and I spoke that with him sitting right there, having to listen to those words. And I said, I forgave him. I forgive him. I forgive him. But true justice would be what I had spoken. And I remember what the foreman, the head juror, I remember him coming over to me at the deliberation and stuff, and passing out the verdict. And I remember him telling me, shaking my hand and saying, "Hey, protect that girl, protect that girl." So there's a bunch of feelings and stuff that come along with that as a father that I had to go through. But I know that I had to forgive this man, And I was like, well, how do I repair that relationship? 'Cause I still had to have a relationship with her mother. And sometimes people just aren't healthy. And there's nothing you can do. You just have to not walk in bitterness. You have to walk in love. Don't walk in offense. Keep your peace at all costs. You have to watch your mouth so you don't speak curses over that person, because I wanted her to be free. I wanted him to be free. And so reconciliation, it actually takes some action on your part. It takes some conscious thought on your part of, I am not going to operate in this. I am not going to entertain this. I'm going to delete certain files. So that way when it comes up, I don't, there you go. You did it again. See? And so I want to read you something. I don't even know if I'm making sense. I hope I am. I do this. If it just impacts one person, then that is good enough for me. I want the one. I want the person who is so tormented. I do not know how to get out of this. I do not know how to, but I know I need to get out of it. I want that. I'm talking to that person. And I just want to read you something out of Colossians. Paul's writing a letter to the church in Colossae. And it's chapter 3, starting at verse 12. So, as those who have been chosen of God, holy and beloved, put on a heart of compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience, bearing with one another and forgiving each other. Whoever has a complaint against anyone, just as the Lord forgave you, so must you do also. In addition to all things, put on love, which is the perfect bond of unity. That's the standard. That's the standard that I needed to raise myself to. And that's the standard that I choose to walk in. Reconciliation is not always easy. It's a tough road. It takes both parties, and it takes a healthy person. If you were raped, how do you reconcile? You forgive, but you don't have to be in a relationship with that person. They are not healthy. They are not healthy. If you've been violated by someone and they refuse to change, you do not have to be in relationship with that person, but you must forgive them, because forgiveness is about your freedom. Thank you for listening. And as always, walk in love, don't walk in offense, and keep your peace at all costs. Blessings.